There are two ways to manifest: direct and indirect. Most people manifest using indirect methods, which is visualizations, affirmations, different manifestation methods, vision boards, scripting, you name it. These are indirect methods because we are using some type of an intermediary or a tool that helps us manifest. And this is not the most effective way to manifest anything. It is kind of random. When we use these methods, we don't even know what will work, when it will work, and it's all kind of random. So hardly can we call ourselves the creator of this reality if we don't really control the outcome. If one day it works, another day it doesn't. So it's kind of a random thing. I would call indirect methods a stepping stone in our spiritual evolution, in our spiritual mastery as the creator of this reality, a stepping stone to a direct manifesting method. Or I wouldn't even call it a method at this point, because this is simply who we are. We are God, we are the creator, and God doesn't need tools to manifest. God doesn't need scripting or vision boards. It doesn't need any type of, tool or technique or method or affirmation or visualization to create this reality. And we are God and you are God. You are the creator. You don't need those tools too. Obviously, as I said, they are a stepping stone, so you might need them in the beginning, and then you evolve and you get rid of all those spiritual canes that helped you before, and now you start using directly, using your divine will alone. In order to use your divine will, you need to know yourself as the divine, as God. And when you fully activate that knowledge within you, when you fully activate that power that comes with this knowledge, and you start applying this knowledge, then you become direct manifester. You become true creator of your reality. Indirect methods, they work partially. Again, today they work, tomorrow they don't. And what are they truly? Let's examine. They are rituals. They are the rituals that allow us to intensify our own inner choice as the creator of what we actually want to create in this reality, what we want to manifest. So, because we don't know ourselves as God fully, we need some external tool or external support, external force we can rely on, we can put our responsibility onto, and we believe in those tools more than we believe in ourselves. Again, that only happens because we simply haven't fully adopted this perspective of, not even a perspective, this new identity as God, as the creator. And this is what the Lost Truth teachings are all about. They are about changing your identity so that you can avoid all spiritual intermediaries, create this direct relationship with God that you are. And again, initially you might need those canes, those tools, those intermediaries, but even if they help you in the beginning, they teach you how to interact with that aspect of yourself that you are still feeling separate from, your true self as the creator. And even though they kind of help you get closer to that self, at some point on your spiritual path, you need to stop using intermediaries if you truly want to become that which you are trying to connect with using the intermediaries. Do you understand? So let me give you an example. For example, you are using some vision board or scripting technique in order to manifest your desired reality. At the beginning of your spiritual path, this is absolutely understandable, and this is something that actually keeps you on the path, it entertains you, it intensifies your own choice as the creator, because your choice is not strong enough when you don't know yourself as God. So those spiritual tools and intermediaries, they serve their purpose, but they serve their purpose for the old identity that we are trying to grow out of. So our goal to grow into our new identity as God, and that's when we need to stop relying on spiritual intermediaries and different methods, techniques, and tools in order to manifest. In the beginning, they help us to get closer to our true self, which we still see as separate from us. But then at some point, they actually start acting as a buffer between us and our true self. So if at the beginning of our spiritual path, they helped us connect with the Creator, who we perceived as separate from us, later on, as you develop spiritually and as you expand your consciousness more and more, they start becoming like a stumbling block, like a buffer between you and your true self. As long as there is something between you and the Creator, as long as you use any middleman between you and God, which is your true self, you will not become one with it. Do you see that? Do you understand what I mean? So at some point, we need to get rid of those intermediaries. We need to put down those canes and become one with that which we were trying to connect with using different manifesting methods in the first place. And this is true mastery, and this is what I called direct manifesting, when we manifest using our divine will alone and nothing else. And this is, in my opinion, true manifesting. Everything else is simply the attempts of us as an unconscious creator, and we're trying to use external things in order to create change within. Reality is created within us, because we are God, we are everything, we are the creator, we are this universe. Everything is happening within us. And when everything is within, there's no way some external tool or technique or method can create internal change. This is not how it works. It's the other way around. Reality is created from within, not the other way around. And as long as we believe in the illusion of separation, as long as we believe that those external tools seemingly separate from us can affect change within us and within the whole universe, then we are still in this illusion of separation that we need to overcome, and we need to evolve past that mirage. So this is the ultimate goal. It's shifting our identity, stop seeing ourselves as separate from the source. And the moment it happens, we realize we no longer need any middleman between us and the source. And we become one with it. And when we become one with it, we don't need any affirmations, visualizations, meditations, vision boards, scripting, any other methods that most people use, and we start creating using our divine will alone. Now, don't confuse your divine will with the will of your mind. These are completely different things. Your divine will only becomes available to you when you realize yourself as the divine. Most of us use our willpower, the power and the will of our ego mind, which is based in our false self-identity as a separate individual. And this will, mind's will, so to speak, doesn't create reality. It's not how it works. Again, our mind, our ego, is simply a buffer, and it maintains the illusion of separation. between us and our true self, between individuality and unity, between internal world and external world. This is something, our mind is something that has just one mission: to maintain this illusion of separation, this illusion of individuality. And it cannot create reality. This is not its function, it's not its mission, it's not its purpose. So when we say that mind creates reality, please understand that these are not very accurate words, and we probably shouldn't be using it in order not to confuse each other. Our thoughts, which are simply a byproduct of our ego mind, also don't create reality. Neither just thoughts create reality, because thoughts are simply the fluctuations on the surface of our mind. They don't have enough power to affect any change. They are not stable. They're too fluid. They are like waves on the surface of our mind. They're so unstable and non-persistent and not anchored. They don't have enough energy to create this transformation, this alchemy, which is this shift from energy state to the material state. So what is manifestation? Manifestation is when energy becomes matter. Energy turns into matter. It happens with this divine will that we execute. It's divine choice. And this choice, again, doesn't come from our mind alone. Our mind probably shouldn't fight with this choice of our heart, but true choice of our heart actually combines and mind and heart and conscious and subconscious, so everything is coherent and there's no internal conflict about what we desire. So this will of the heart, so to speak, our divine will, it's the will of our whole being. When we become whole, when we become God, when we become one with everything, we become this holistic being, then our choice, our will become whole and extremely strong, and then it has this power to create reality. Versus when we identify with an individual and we live in this illusion of separation between our individuality and unity, between us and others, our external and our internal worlds. We just simply don't have 100% choice, 100% strong will in order to create reality and manifest it every time we want. That's why all spiritual intermediaries, aka different common manifestation methods, they serve us as a ritual that helps us intensify our own choice. When we perform this ritual, when we are doing our scripting or our visualization or our affirmation, we persuade our own self that yes, this is what we want. Yes, we want to manifest that. It's kind of the act of performing a ritual itself is something that intensifies our internal choice to manifest that particular thing. On the one hand, it manifests our desired reality by intensifying our divine will, our choice. That is not strong because it's not fully divine yet, because we haven't fully become the divine. So it's this artificial way to make our inner choice stronger. And it doesn't have to be like 100% all the time in order to create some change on the outside. It could be 80%, 90%. So sometimes these spiritual canes work. That's why sometimes certain manifestation methods work for certain individuals at certain times, but not always. not truly predictably. So we are kind of in a limbo there. We're not truly the creators of our reality because we never know when will it manifest, will it at all or not, how will it manifest. We're just kind of in a passive state, even though we have this illusion of being active creators of our reality, because we're using those tools and practices and techniques, and we are actively trying to effect change. We are not true manifestors, because again, we are performing a ritual and then we sit back and we wait until the universe, which we still perceive as separate from us, delivers the results of our ritual. And again, we never know whether it will happen or not, how, to what extent. So we are still passive here. We're not fully the creators of this reality. It is much better than just simply succumb to the so-called fate and never do anything and never use any tools and practices and rituals, and just simply automatically go through life and never even try to change something, right? It's much better than this victim mentality. So I'm not against spiritual intermediaries, but if you are one of those people who maybe already tried different spiritual practices and manifestation methods, and you're still not fully 100% satisfied with the results, and you're still looking for something else, you're looking for this secret knowledge on how to truly manifest what you want. Direct manifesting, the main concept in the Last Truth teachings, is probably what you want to look at. Again, it's not for everyone. For many of us, we still need different manifestation methods and tools and techniques. Now, in order to fully anchor on this path, at the beginning of it, we need different entertaining techniques and methods and meditations and visualizations. They keep us engaged. They keep intensify our internal urge to merge with unity, with God. So they're not useless. This is not what I'm saying. And I myself used spiritual intermediaries and different manifestation methods for a couple of decades before the Last Truth came to me. The Last Truth came to me, this knowledge, this revelation happened to me in March 2016. It was a completely spontaneous awakening. It wasn't induced by any substance or any practice. And it lasted for almost a week. It wasn't a momentarily glimpse of enlightenment. It was an experience that took days, and I had enough time to write down all the epiphanies, all the revelations that were pouring down to me, which later became the foundation for the Last Truth teachings and my book with the same title and the landmark course, the landmark program of the Last Truth teachings. Since then, I was not using any other manifestation methods, any spiritual tools and practices, because this knowledge came to me, the knowledge about direct manifesting, and I chose it to be my mission to offer this knowledge, this next step on our spiritual path. So when you realize that you're not fully happy and content with the results that your manifestation techniques give you, then maybe you've grown in your consciousness enough to let go of any middlemen, any intermediaries, and you're ready to master direct manifesting. You're ready to build this direct relationship with the creator that you are, and you're ready to start exercising your divine will alone in order to create reality, without relying on anything or anyone else, on any external tool or method. You may be ready. So the irony is, you might be too spiritually advanced to keep using those manifestation methods. So if you don't see enough results in your manifesting, that could be because you're too spiritually advanced, and your heart rejects at this point all those intermediaries, and it desires to have a deeper and more direct connection with your true self. It desires to merge fully with your true self. And as I mentioned earlier in this video, we can truly fully merge with our true self as God because we keep using some intermediaries. As long as we have this buffer between us and the source, we will not fully connect with it. And again, at the beginning of our spiritual path, these practices and tools, they keep us engaged, they entertain us, they anchor us in our intention to go forward on our spiritual path, and they bring us closer to our true self. And that's why these intermediary tools and practices became so popular, because they do work, but they work partially, and they work for the beginners. They bring you closer to your true self that you perceive as something separate from you in the beginning of your spiritual evolution. But then once you get to a certain point, once you're over a specific threshold, then everything flips, and the same tools, techniques, and practices that helped you before now suddenly becomes something that actually prevents you from fully becoming one with Source, with your true self. And now your goal and your job, your spiritual duty, is to let it go. So if in the beginning your spiritual duty is to use those intermediaries in order to get more engaged and more devoted and expand your consciousness more using those helpful tools such as meditation, visualization, and all other methods. But then at some point when you are spiritually expanded and advanced enough, even though I don't like this word advanced, but for the lack of a better word, when you are at the point where you need to start learning direct manifesting, you actually need to get rid of those tools. And it's my favorite analogy about a cane. So when we're just learning how to walk, we need a cane. It supports us, it builds the strength of our muscles, it helps us develop this walking routine. It just helps us. Without it, we wouldn't even be able to stand up if we just simply can't walk. Imagine after some accident, whatever. We need a cane. But if we become too attached to this cane, and if we don't realize that there is something more, there's something beyond these tools, these canes, then you'll just simply keep using the cane and never ever learn to walk on your own feet. Those different common manifestation methods, they serve as the spiritual cane that is helpful, but at some point we need to get rid of it in order to need to walk on our own independently from any intermediaries and tools and practices. And it is difficult because we become attached. We become attached, we become dependent, we are afraid to let it go because we almost associate our spiritual path with those practices. In our perception, if we perform some ritual or some spiritual practice today, it means that we performed our spiritual duty. We check the box that, okay, today I did my meditation, I meditated, I visualized, I checked the box, I felt good, I feel like I'm progressing on my spiritual path, I was devoted enough, I did something, let's move on, right? So if we suddenly abandon all those practices and stop doing it, we suddenly find ourselves in this very unknown territory, almost like free falling and not knowing how and where to find our ground, this point of stability, because we are used to relying on some external support, external canes, and now suddenly there are no canes and no external support. So what do? And this is exactly why we need to let go of those canes, because it is our duty to find this support within ourselves. We need to start finding this support within us, within the truth of who we are, this support in God. We need to start using our will, divine will. We need to start learning how to execute it in our daily life in order to create our desired reality, which is our mission actually, because as God, our main purpose is to create reality consciously in a harmonious way in order to stop creating chaos and disorder and disease, problems and conflicts, which is simply a byproduct of us being an unconscious creator who still creates, but when it doesn't know who it is, when we don't know who we are, we still create, but we create unconsciously. When we create unconsciously, based in our false identity and fears, we simply create chaos, we create problems, we create adversity. So it's actually our job to first anchor ourselves in true identity as God, and then fulfill our purpose as the creator, which is to create this material reality at will. I feel like we, in general, as a collective, are now ready to grow beyond common manifestation methods, techniques, and tools. We are ready to grow beyond spiritual practices, and we are ready to grow beyond any middleman. We are ready to become one with our true divine self, and this is what my mission is, and this is what the Last Truth Teachings is here for, to give you.